Okay, hey guys, thank you for watching our Kemah to Corpus Christi trip. This is the last episode of it, and it's just a recap. I'm also going to post this, I think, as just a recap video in general. That way, if people don't see all the videos, you have this one, and then I'll link the video of the playlist in this video. If I say video one more time. Okay, so Captain, we have gone through our trip, and we have some statistics to tell you. So how many days were we gone?
9 days.
Okay, 9 days. And how many miles did we travel?
We did 460 miles.
Wow. Okay, and where we went from Kemah, South Shore, to Corpus Christi City Marina. That was the 460 miles. Okay, and how much did we spend in fuel?
$2,022, and we used 492 gallons of diesel.
Okay.
We used more diesel than we typically do because we had that 114 mile day, and we're running 14, 15 knots. We usually run about 8, maybe 9. But it was one of those deals that it was a long day, and it was gonna be dark when we got there, and we had to go through a lock.
Yeah.
We had to stop for fuel, and Matagorda Bay was I hate to use the word treacherous, but it wasn't far off.
A little scary.
It was a little scary.
And we did, what was an average that we paid for fuel? Do you remember?
We were paying $3.50, $3.30, $3.70, around there. One time, we paid almost $5.
Yeah.
And that was our fault. Normally, because we called ahead to make sure they had fuel when they were open, and we usually do that. But we usually ask them how much our fuel is. This time we didn't. So I bought about 200 gallons, and it was like $960. And then I asked them how much it was a gallon, but
I was like, "Can you take it all back?" That was at a place on the ICW. I don't remember. It was right outside of Rockport.
Just before Rockport.
Yeah, in between Rockport and going towards like Port Aransas, Corpus Christi. We'd never been there before. It's super easy to get in and out of, and great people, but price was.
Just make sure you call first, just to be sure, because there's other places we could have stopped. We just didn't think about it. All I kept thinking about was we had 114 miles to go with rough seas. Okay,
so that's the breakdown. What did we spend on marinas?
$477.
Okay, so $477. We did stay in the Freeport Marina. We stayed in Madagascar. Matagorda, not Madagascar. Matagorda. We stayed in Rockport, and we stayed in Corpus Christi. And then, of course, we stayed in places coming back. So that was going and coming. The most expensive place we stayed was the City Marina in Corpus Christi. Still, it wasn't that expensive.
No.
And then the cheapest we stayed was Rockport, and it was $30 a night. So it kind of varies. But that's all we spent for 9 days in hotel you would charge.
Well, if we stayed in Galveston, because we like to stay in Galveston, but it's so expensive in Galveston.
Yeah.
It's 120 to 160,
yeah,
something like that.
A night.
For every marina there. I'm not sure why, but we do like Galveston. It's just costly to stay there.
Yeah.
And we were expecting our marinas to cost more than that, but we ended up coming home early because of the weather. We only gone 9 days instead of like 15 days, whatever it was. So it did save us some money with that.
I do have some questions people have asked. Okay, Q&A. Are you okay with that?
I'm ready.
He doesn't know these answers. Okay, or these questions. Okay, so a lot of people have asked how much it costs to keep our boat here at South Shore a month.
I don't know. Cindy knows that.
I know, because I pay the bills.
$400?
It's $360 a month, and that includes your water, and your power is separate. Power just depends on if you keep your ACs running when you're not here, if you live on your boat, or if you're here all the time. Power's not a big deal.
And speaking of, let me interrupt you for a second. Speaking of leaving your AC on and your heat on, some people turn theirs off. We leave ours going. If it's summertime, we'll just bump it up a little bit so it's not running as bad. But if not, if you turn it off, a lot of times, it smells like an old boat inside, and it starts getting musty, and
it's hot. We usually make it like 80. We set it on 80. Yeah. That way it doesn't run constantly.
But everybody does it different. That's just what we choose to do for that reason.
Yeah. Heat wise, we do not leave the central heats on when we leave because we don't need it to get really hot in here. We have a little space heater. We just leave that on really low, like 70 degrees, just so it doesn't get 40 degrees in here. Okay, another question that people have asked is not the dimensions, but the specs on our boat.
It is 13.8 is the beams, how wide it is. 41 feet is what it technically is, the length, but it's 43 and some change technically from the
Because we have a swim deck?
Yeah, the swim deck and the anchor and all that.
Okay.
And the draft is 39 inches. And the air draft, which is from the water line to the top of the boat, is around 19 feet. I don't remember exactly what it is. It's around 19 feet. And you need to know that for bridges.
Yeah, yeah. Another person asked, do you have to be registered with the Coast Guard?
You don't have to be.
Okay. Why did we choose to be?
We decided to go ahead and do it with the boat because if we start traveling outside the U.S. and that kind of thing, it will be helpful to have.
Okay. And then someone else asked, do you have to register a dinghy?
Yes, you do.
Okay. No matter what size?
No matter what size. If it has a gasoline engine, you have to have it registered. You can have a 15-foot dinghy, as long as you just use your paddles, you're good. But as soon as you put an engine on it, a motor on it, you have to register it.
Okay. And you can register it. We registered the boat with the Parks and Wildlife place, but we just have since learned, like a couple months ago when I registered the dinghy, that I could actually register that at our local registration office where you register cars and stuff in New Caney, Texas, if anybody knows where that's at.
That's pretty new to us.
Yeah, that was kind of
because when we two years ago I went to register a dinghy, and they would not do it at the, our local place in our county.
Yeah.
So we had to go to Texas Parks and Wildlife, and it was in a place you don't really want to go.
Yeah, because those are kind of scarce. Look, we found one in Rockport.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Okay. Another question was, someone asked, why would we choose to stay in the ICW and not just go out in the Gulf and get the trip, just haul mad booty and get done?
Well, there's multiple reasons. One of them is the weather. You start getting bad weather offshore because the wind, you can't hide from the wind when you're offshore. If you're in ICW, you can kind of hide from the wind for the most part. And the waves, always look at the waves, because before you go out in Galveston Bay, you think Galveston Bay is just a big, huge lake. And Corpus Christi Bay is like a big, huge lake. It's not.
It's a small ocean.
It's a small ocean, and it could be treacherous and very dangerous, in there. We do enjoy going offshore as long as it's 1 or 2 footers. Anything bigger than that, I don't want any part of.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable. In ICW, there's a lot more to see too.
Yeah.
But the good thing about going offshore is you don't have to deal with all the barge traffic, all the tows, and all that stuff, because those can be nerve-wracking as well.
Well, and also someone asked, could we just cut across the Gulf and go straight to the end of Florida and not take it around? Well, I think I answered them because I knew the answer to that. We don't carry enough fuel to do that, and we don't have sails, so we could get out in the Gulf heading straight down, but then we would run out of gas or diesel. So,
but a lot of people with power boats like ours, they'll go out of Galveston and go back in at the Louisiana-Texas line, which is Sabine Pass Port Authority.
Yeah.
You go in there and get fuel, stay the night, and you can go back out and come back in Morgan City and get fuel.
So you can cut back in at different places.
Okay. And that way you don't have to deal with the locks. And you don't have to deal with low bridges. And really, going west, there's only one lock and one floodgate. And they pretty much leave them open all the time. You just have to stop for traffic because it's not wide enough for 2 boats to pass in there. Even small boats like ours can't pass in that, going through that lock. So when you start getting close, you go ahead and radio the lockmaster and ask him where you need to be. And so far, if you read all the paper, everything says that they get the right of way. All the 4 hire boats, which is the tows and all that, and we go last. But we've always found it in our experience that he'll tell us go ahead, or he'll tell us get behind another tow, and that tow will call us on the radio, get in front of me.
Yeah, they're always super. They always say go first because you can go.
But we're always very courteous to them because those guys are out here trying to make a living, and we're just enjoying life.
Yeah, is that what we're doing? Okay, I'm trying to think. I think that was all the questions that I knew that I wanted the captain to answer for everybody.
I have another question that people have asked me, and they have asked me personally, is, because we come down here when it's 30 degrees and 25-mile-an-hour winds. They're like, how do you stay warm inside of a boat? We have 2 central heating and air, like you do in a house or like you do in an RV. We also have a space heater, and we have, you've probably seen our fireplace. We have one of those electric fireplaces. It actually keeps the back of the boat really warm.
Yeah, we don't even use the salon area heat.
Yeah,
we just use that fireplace.
Yeah, it keeps it really warm. So it's actually very comfortable in here. even when it's 30 degrees.
Yeah. And upstairs, you know, you guys have watched the videos, all that isinglass is like a sunroom. If the sun's out, it's very warm up there. Even if the sun, like today, is cloudy, it still keeps the wind out of there. I got little throw blankets up there. We're going to have this back cover made. We're getting the side ones done right now for the like the bra area in the front of the boat and the sides. We're going to have that back cover remade because we have a cover that covers the whole back porch area. And it keeps the wind from blowing up into the stairs that go upstairs. So in the really cold months, which it doesn't get that cold here, but that will definitely keep it warmer back there.
It gets cold in the water.
Yeah, it can get very cold in water. So we do love using that in the winter. We're just having a new one made because the one we have is kind of ugly and dirty. But we're going to keep it.
It's very nice.
When we travel, we put that one on so it gets soot on it and not our new one.
And it works good because you can open the back door and the heat will travel out and go up the stairs up to the bridge.
Shoot, you put a little space heater upstairs, you're fine.
That's hot. Yeah.
Okay, well, you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. And if anybody has any questions or comments, you know, as long as it's positive.
Yeah, no, throw some negative stuff. We'll delete you.
No, if you have any comments or questions,
just ask on this video or email us or however you want to do it. Come see us. We love meeting new people. You guys know where we're at. I've had a lot of people email us, so you can definitely email me and we can work things out. We've had dinner with people last night. We've met great friends. We look forward to meeting more people. So yeah.
And we're just like everybody else. We don't know everything. We've learned from you guys and learned from other boaters, and
I'm glad you mentioned that.
We've learned so much from other people that they'll tell you, how to do things. And if you don't know something, ask somebody, because on our dock there's going to be somebody. There's this guy. He has a trawler and he's 77 years old, and his trawler is named Miss Lily, and they're finishing the Great Loop.
They left a couple.
And that guy gave me 2 years ago they left, and that guy, he gave me so much insight and so much I guess motivation, and he's just a good guy. But you learn things from people, so ask questions.
Yeah, and thank you for telling us stuff, because there's been so many times. I mean, I learned so much about Freeport from somebody on YouTube that messaged and told me like what everything I kept saying. I don't know what that is, but so thank y'all for doing that. I found out what that pink bird was because of y'all. So I appreciate you guys telling us what you know about what we're talking about, and so it goes both ways. So thank you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are watching this as the last video of Corpus Christi Kemah trip, just so you know, there was nothing wrong with our head unit, our head pump. They just came. They say it's not. They said it's working great. They didn't find anything. They didn't even charge us. So maybe it just was a fluke. We don't know. But everything seems to be okay right now. So
yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching.